everybody, it's Lynn, the leather bag lady. How are you all today? It is 25 to 1. It is Friday. I am supposed to be at Art Crawl. We will talk all things what has screwed up my day after we talk about today's bag. A bag you weren't supposed to get. But hey, here we are. So, today's bag is a very simple daily driver. I'm laughing because I was explaining a bag to Pius the other day and he said, "Oh, so it's a daily driver." And I was like, "What? You are quoting me back to me?" It was freaking hilarious. But this is a daily driver. There is no Maker's brand. It is, where is it? It is a basic 1970s black shoulder bag. Now, the hardware, I think, was a gold tone at one time, but I think it's looking more silver, which, yeah, it is. I would say it's a more silver tone now, which is fine. I'm not mad at it, Pius. I'm not mad at it at all. So it has a zipper closure and it has some compartments. Now, if you have ever watched a video about the history of bags, which I have watched a ton of, it will talk about how back in the day, ladies would put a couple of safety pins in their purse. We've talked about this once before, I think, because you never know what is gonna let go at any time. I have had a bra malfunction, which a little old lady gave me a safety pin in the washroom to deal with. My grandmother told me a story about the elastic in her knickers. And knickers is not 3/4 length pants. Knickers in the UK is your underwear. Let go when she was walking and she just stepped out of them, bent down, picked them up and put them in her purse. So this little bag has safety pins attached to it. So how cute is that? Has a zipper compartment, a divider with a compartment. So there's a few bits and pieces to this bag. Nice, just a little, some detailing, just some seams, and it has a 21-inch strap drop, has a adjustable strap, little bit of a gusset. Like I said, a daily driver. So that is today's bag. So I've spent the last 2 hours, one, looking at the rain, Leather Bag Lady weather report. I got up this morning. It's just been a complete shit show. So let's start at the beginning. Last night we went and picked up the van. Put the license plates on it. I took a video because rather than start a whole new channel, I think I'm going to actually divide this channel up into See You Two Later, which is our license plate. See You Two Later 968, as the van is parked right outside my door. And I won't tell you what Pi said about the numbers on the license plate. You can imagine, because he's a man and he's a bit of a pervert. So anyway, love that he's a pervert, but he is a bit of a pervert. So we picked the van up. I've got video of Pi's putting the license plates on there. I drove my car home. I jump in the van. We get to the car wash because we're going to wash it all up. And the smell, oh no, before that, we go to the gas station. And I fill up my car. Pi's fills up the van. And off we go. And we get home, I jump in the van, we go to the car wash, and the smell of fuel is eye-wateringly bad. I don't think that's a word, but it is now. And I'm going on and on and on about it. And Pies is like, maybe we overfilled it, which I didn't think so because we've just driven 45 minutes. So if you had overfilled overfilled it, it would have had the opportunity to come down by now. So we didn't park it in the driveway. We parked it on the road. We came in, went to bed, got up. The two of us left at the same time. I'm going to the gym. Pius is going to work. And there is a huge puddle underneath the van. Obviously, the gas tank is leaking. The smell is insane. So we're like, okay, we better park it in the driveway. We put a little bucket underneath it, like it's drip, 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 dripping. So we kind of work backwards. Pius said the van was half full when he filled it. $105 to fill it. And that was at the reserve, which is cheaper, like shitballs. Like, really? And it's leaking everywhere. So we park it in the driveway. I go to the gym, have a half-ass workout because I really wasn't feeling like it. I've had a headache for days. Pius has had a tickle in his throat. My client last night had a tickle in his throat. It's the smoke in the air here in Southern Ontario because of the fires in BC, Quebec. I think Nova Scotia's fires are out, but Quebec, Hamilton has been in an absolute extreme air advisory or whatever because of the smoke. And I didn't even give it two thoughts that my headaches would be from the smoke. But I've had, like, on my way back from my job yesterday, taking my clients out, my headache was so bad. I had to just like kind of hold my head. I wasn't sure if it was the new medication I'm trying for my hot flashes, if it was, Pius said it's because you're marrying me soon. I'm like, I hope not. But it's the fire. It's the smoke. So we parked the van in the driveway. I go to work or go to the gym. I come back. The smell. I go into the shed. I back my car up because I'm getting ready to go to art crawl. It's supposed to rain. I'm like, the sun was starting to come out. Pius is like, I'm in Toronto and it's raining like crazy. So then I'm thinking, I said to Pius, we can't leave this van in the driveway. The smell is horrendous. The neighbors. I said, I can't go to art crawl today. He goes, well, it's piss and rain here, so you're not going to be able to go anyway. I'm like, well, it's not raining here. And I was mad because I wanted to make some money to contribute to our trip. Next week we leave for Nova Scotia. A week today we leave. And I so badly wanted to help pay for that. And I have done along the way, but not with any significance at all. But it started to rain. Leather bag lady weather report. It was pissing from the heavens. And I felt a lot better about not being able to take part in art crawl today. Because now Pius is like, well, we got to take the van back to the mechanic. Like, there's no way we can drive this van around. So he's like, well, Eric can drain the gas tank. And I'm like, well, what's he going to do with the gas? I'm like, well, I guess it's garbage. I'm like, $105 worth of gas? Garbage? No. So we've come up with a ton of scenarios. I kept calling him back. I'm like, okay, what if I drive the shit out of the car today or the van today, get it down to half a tank, because that's where it was when we picked it up and bought it, and there was no leaking issues. So at least we're not having a dripping gas tank, and the smell is not going to be a big deal until we can get it back to the mechanic. Okay, be careful, blah-de-blah. And I'm like, why be careful? Why? What do you know that I don't know? What the hell? And he's like, chill the fuck out, girl. I just don't want you to be in the middle of nowhere and the thing breaks down or whatever. He said, we've driven it 45 minutes. Who knows? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I don't want to go thrifting without my thrifting buddy. So I said, when you get home from work, we will go thrifting. I'm not going to art crawl anyway. It's pouring with rain. And we're not sure how many people are going to actually turn up for art crawl. In terms of people who actually purchase things, it'll be filled with young people because they don't give a shit anyway, but they're not the ones that buy. So I'm like, and Pi said to me, he goes, you're going to be really pissed off if you're there for 13 hours and you make $100. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I decide not to go. So I'm sitting here, oh, I'm on the laptop, um, doing some things to my Etsy shop. And I adjusted my shipping profile on Etsy some time ago to include a $5 shipping charge to the US because my shipping charges are ridiculous. And shipping to the US is even more ridiculous. And I'm basically swallowing a $3 to $4 shipping charge on top of what I've built into my pricing, because we all know there's no such thing as free shipping. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, I'm sure. But there are psychological benefits to saying free shipping. This has actually been studied. So you're browsing online, you see something you like, it's $70. You're already deciding in your brain whether you can afford $70 or not. You've decided, yes, you can. You get to check out at the cart and it adds $30 shipping. Now all of a sudden you can't afford this item. It's a thing. It's a real thing. Psychologically, psychologists have studied this retail phenomenon. It's a thing. So if it's already in the listing, you've already processed that you can afford that $70. If it includes shipping, you get to the cart, you buy it, and you're good to go. So I do believe that because I'm a person who, I guess maybe it's my generation, my age. We did not grow up with online shopping. We did not grow up. I want to see it, feel it, touch it, smell it. I want to come home with it. I don't want to wait 5 days for shipping. But that's the way the world works these days. So I opted to build a portion of my purchase price or your purchase price as shipping. So when people message me and want something for, say, $30, $40 discount, and believe me, people do that, I can't because I'm already paying shipping. So you want me to discount the shipping, which is essentially the discount that you want. I can't do it, especially if it's going to the US. So I had to go in manually, and I still can't believe I did this. I spent 2.5 hours manually amending all my listings because it didn't have my home postal code. I don't know why. Some did, some didn't. I don't know why. It seemed to be the bags that have been on my site for a long time. I am a long tail seller. I have got bags on my Etsy site for 3 years. I don't care. There is an owner for every bag I have. It's just up to me to wait until that fabulous person turns up. And I'm okay with that. So maybe something I typed in the beginning didn't compute or whatnot. So I've added $5 to my US shipping profile, not Canada. Most of my sales are in Canada, but I do get some US customers. So I adjusted it to add this $5, but it wasn't showing up. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Then I went on the computer as opposed to the phone. Now the apps, you can't perform all functions on the app. Some things you have to go into the computer for. There's a banner right across the top saying that I have subscribed to a program that if your purchase is over $35 in the US, shipping is free. I didn't subscribe to that. Apparently, they subscribed to it for me. So I have undone that checkbox. So it's going to mean that my US customers are going to be paying $5 shipping. I don't think $5 shipping is ridiculous. It just means that extra $3 to $4, $5 is not coming out of my already minimal net sale. So there we go. 2.5 hours. I'm sore across my shoulders from all this hunching and bunching and all the rest of it. So then I had an idea. So I called Pius back. God help him. He's trying to work and I said, listen, when you get back, why don't we go thrifting? We can go to 3 or 4 Value Villages and burn half a tank of gas off this van. That way we're not wasting our money. I'm not making any money, but I'm now spending money, but it's all for the greater good. It's all for my fabulous stockpile of bags that I don't seem to be doing anything with except for Etsy. But when we come back from Nova Scotia, it's gonna happen. I know. Those of you who follow me for a long time, I'm like, yeah, bitch, we'll believe that when we see it. But hopefully it will happen. And then I said, we'll be down to half a tank, which means there'll be no more leaking, no more stinky. And we can take the van to VanFest tomorrow. We're going to try. Every time we stop, we're going to look and see if it's still leaking. And the point where we notice it's not leaking, we're going to notice it on the fuel gauge. And that's where we know to keep it until we can get it fixed. We want to take the van to VanFest tomorrow. We really, really, really do. We're going to hose down the whole back end of it because we have to sleep in it. So I'm not sure. I thought I had a headache before, so we'll see. We're not going to put anybody or us in harm's way by any means, but we really want to take the van with us. So anyway, let's see how it all goes. Oh, I'm exhausted just talking about it, for goodness sake. And we're 16 minutes in. Still, oh, she's disconnected. Still watching my Miss Philly. It's very entertaining. She has access to some stuff. Like, I've talked to you about this before many times. Some of the YouTubers that I follow, Purse Trippin', It's Hadrian, they're all in the US and they come across bags daily that I've never ever come across. And Miss Philly seems to have the same Burberry clothing and boots. And I mean, I don't look at clothing. But she's found, what's the braided leather brand? Oh my goodness me. I'm having a senior moment. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. She has come across some very, very high-end bags. I don't at all. But anyway, so that is it for today, everybody. I didn't even think I'd be talking to you, but it's still kind of raining. It's dull. It's freezing in here, though. I had to turn my furnace back on, and I had to turn it up. It was 66 degrees in here this morning. I was so cold. Warmed up a little bit now. Hot flash or two, that seems to help. But anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. We are going to be thrifting this evening. We're going to go and visit Rosie's and get ready for VanFest, either in our van or in the truck. We're going to go regardless. So have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.